Namaste and welcome. It's such a pleasure today to introduce to our Ekal supporters, a very, very special Ekal supporter, Mukund Padmanabhan. Mukund is the founder of the Guru Krupa Foundation, which has for the past several years been a very strong supporter of several of Ekal's initiatives, including our schools, our e-Shiksha initiative, and most recently supported our healthcare initiatives that were happening during the COVID pandemic. They have also come forward to support our integrated village development project in Ahmedabad, Telangana. Namaste, Mukundji, and welcome to Ekal.
How are you, Ranjani? Good to see you again.
Thank you so much. It's really, really such a gratifying moment to see people like you support the rural villages, of India, which are really perhaps some of the most underprivileged areas that are there. We, as you know, Ekal works in very, very rural, remote villages. So I wanted to ask you, Mukund, what motivates you to support projects that actually work on the upliftment of those that are so underprivileged and so out of the realm of development?
Well, it's a question of equity. I have a bias, and the foundation has a bias towards helping children achieve their full potential. And not everybody is born with the same sort of access to services which will enable them to develop fully. And that's particularly true for children in rural communities and so on. So that's one reason why, the foundation supports a lot of projects that relate to children. And, the first thing that a child needs, it needs support to live. So once the needs of roti, kapda, makan are satisfied, the next most important thing is education. That's where it can build up on using its own abilities and develop to its full potential. So, and this is particularly needed for children in rural India. So that's why Ekal and also some other organizations which do similar type of work.
That's really fantastic. You really touched upon something very special about the need of education. I know you are a native of Chennai and came to the United States and now live in New York. And like most of us, I think it's education that brought us here. It was our ticket to doing whatever we are doing today. And hence, to give that support to others is really wonderful.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been a very successful, investment person in New York. What motivated you to start the Guru Krupa Foundation that you lead?
The first point is, you when you realize you can't take it with you, then the next question is, what do you do with it, right? So you have more money than you need to sustain your lifestyle. And my lifestyle is not very ostentatious. It's fairly simple. So what's the best bang that you can get for all this resource that you have? And you look around and, during the process of growing up, I lived in India I finished my undergrad in India. So I could see children begging on the road, you're going somewhere and a child comes up. So it seems unfair for resources to be so, unevenly distributed that something that was just born, is a few years old, has to beg for food, and somebody else is so much more. So, it makes sense to give back. And you want to give back, especially to organizations that serve people in third world countries. And, from my personal experience, I know there are a lot of people who need help in India. So you can't do that as an individual, or you can do it as an individual, but it's more efficient to do it through an organization. So therefore, the seeds of the idea to start this foundation here in the US and use it to help people in India.
That's really fantastic. So since you started the foundation, I know that you have supported many different initiatives. And how did you come about this choice to choose Ekal as one of the projects that you would support?
Well, you are the first person I met from Ekal, Ranjani. So you are responsible for the ongoing support for Ekal, because I see the enthusiasm in you. I've met other people like Mohan and so on and so forth, and most of you people seem to be wedded to the cause. There is no personal agenda. There seems very little personal agenda, and you are doing it because you believe that This is a good thing to do. This is a good place for you to invest your time. I like all those things. I mean, I'm looking for channels. I wish I had the time to go and do things myself, but I don't. So I'm looking for channels that will use this money efficiently and deliver it to the people who need it most. And Ekal seems to be an excellent organization that fits all of those criteria.
You really were able to understand, our driving force. And it's certainly not only me, the entire organization has a huge volunteer base that is really, really mission oriented and
Yes.
very, very passion driven. So,
Yes. I mean,
and
right.
it's wonderful that you picked up on that and, did that. So, in your vision, why do you think that, of course, you yourself have invested in Ekal. So what message would you have for others who might be considering investing in skill training or
Yeah.
e-shiksha or our school projects at Ekal? Any special message for them?
I don't have a special message. I mean, helping other people is a generic message. It can be done through ACL, it can be done through many other organizations. So people should look to help other people if they have the means to do so. That is a generic message that I would give, and it's an obvious message. It doesn't require me to say it. As far as ACL is concerned, I would say that I mean, the main reason I would promote Ekal is because of what I already mentioned. It's because of the passion of the people who actually, of the Karyakartas who actually do the work. And also, I remember once you told me that, as far as the cause is concerned, you went to India, you met this girl in a rural village. I think at that time you were dealing with mobile libraries. And
Yeah,
you said this girl came up to you and said, I don't know if she referred to you as auntie or whatever, but,
Didi.
or Didi, yes, Didi, this changed my life. And I can see it. I mean, as a kid who has never seen a book, for most of her life, there is this organization that's coming and opening up a whole new world to her. It's a cause worth supporting. I mean, the joy of being able to do that for another child is worth it. I mean, money, you can buy things with money. This is one of the most best ways in which you can use money.
Yeah, I'll
So
just
that's what I would say for people to if they want to invest in Ekal, this is one reason why you should.
That's so beautiful, Mukund, that you remembered it. It was actually on our Echelon wheels, which our
Yeah,
mobile computer lab. And she said, Didi, you allowed us to touch the future,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
such
I mean,
a moment. And I'm glad you remembered that. Yeah, it really was life-changing for me. Now, from your perspective, Mukund, when you see, you have invested through our organization and through others on development in India. So what do you hope India will look like in the future, maybe 20 years from now, because you're also involved in the other side of the commercial investments and things like that.
yeah.
So where do you see the world going and where do you see India in about maybe 20, 30 years from now?
That is your going above my pay grade there, Anthony. So I'm not a strategist or. I mean, my hope is that, and I will quote from I think it was Narayana Murthy. I also give money to Akshay Patra, and he, of course, is one of the founders. Or one of the senior people at Akshay Patra. They said the goal of this organization is to make sure it does not exist in 30 or 40 years. That's the goal. You're feeding children, you're making sure they get food. I hope the same thing will be true of Ekal also, that in 20, 30 years, the villages will have access for the children and the people who want it. They will have easy access to the resources they need to develop themselves, and after that it will not be necessary to have to go and uplift them. How many years it will take, I don't know. I know that you people are already ahead of the curve, because I think even the prime minister said that the 1 million villages or 100,000 villages.
100,000, 100,000, yeah.
Yes, so you were already ahead of the curve and getting into 100,000 villages. So hopefully you will get there like less than 30 years from now. That's my hope for you.
From your words, may they go to God's ears so that we can actually make this happen. And absolutely, Mukund, actually self-sustainability or Atmanirbharta is both the Prime Minister's vision and also our very, very important vision. And in fact, we have this grain project, Gramothan Atmanirbharta, where we are working with skill training and the farmers to create market linkages so that hopefully their incomes improve, and so that they don't, we don't need to come, and as you said, we should become redundant pretty soon. So beautiful. So looking forward to that future where we become Atmanirbhar. And thank you, Mukund, for really looking at our organization and seeing what we are doing, and for doing your part to support the organization. We are thoroughly grateful. The children in these villages are really grateful to you. Thank you so much. Namaste.
My pleasure, and thank you for serving as a channel for whatever I can do.
Thank you, Mukund. God bless you.